Hey Libra, welcome to your weekly forecast for September 5th through the 11th. Pardon the voice, as you can probably tell, I'm under the weather at this time. But we're going to connect and we're going to see what messages are coming up here for the Libra collective, Libra Sun, Libra Moon, and Libra rising. I'm setting the intention for the 5th through the 11th, but you might stumble upon this video in a few weeks, a few years. It's fine. You're going to see it whenever you're meant to see it. So just keep in mind that this is a general reading. Not every single message is going to resonate, and that's okay. Take what does, leave what doesn't. So without further ado, my dears and my darlings, we're going to see what's coming up here for our Libra collective. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit closer. All right, so the first card here is the Five of Wands. Now, the Five of Wands can be competition. It can be struggle. It could be a form of indecision or inner conflict within ourselves. Now, I'm getting a really, really specific message here around the Five of Wands for Libra. I feel as though there's going to be a really significant revelation. For some of you, this could be a memory that pops up, like a repressed memory. Or for some of you, there could be somebody who is going to behave in a way where it shows you absolutely, positively, 100% their true colors. But when you're seeing it, you're in disbelief of it. And you're like, I can't imagine that, like this is it. Or like, I can't imagine that this person is this way. Like, you're not wanting to release it. You're not wanting to let it go. You're not wanting to accept the knowledge. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to cut this person out of your life. I'm not telling you that you have to leave the situation. But I feel like these true colors are being revealed to you, or this memory is resurfacing in a way for you to protect yourself. Because you may be around somebody who's capable of much more than you had anticipated. And so you're going to have to make your decision or take your steps in a way where you're able to have the appropriate boundaries. You're going to have the appropriate distance, or, like maybe you're not going to allow this person to have access to uh, bank accounts or sensitive information, or maybe you're like, hey, I just had this memory. It's not a good idea for me to have this person babysitting my kids, or like whatever it might be. And there just might be this part of you that's like, oh, but it was a long time ago, or oh, like maybe they're just having a bad day. And I feel like Spirit is telling you, accept this and take appropriate action, take appropriate steps uh, to keep things from escalating. Because one thing that I can tell you, and this is something that's come to me through meditation, we all talk about coming into the 5D or ascension, or coming into the new dawn or the new renaissance or the light age, or whatever you want to call it. People have all kinds of ways of describing what's happening energetically right now. As we are going through this shift, we're going to see a lot of things come out of a lot of people. And when it does, believe it. Please believe it. And take the steps that you're being guided to take. Because I feel like you're feeling conflicted about the situation. Pray about it, meditate about it. You know, you don't want to be sitting there in the lava getting burned. You don't need to do that. Uh, there's no sense in sacrificing yourself for a situation when spirit is showing you, hey, this might not be the place to put your loyalties. Might be time to put your loyalties elsewhere. The next card that's coming up here for you all is the Ace of Swords. And this is confirmation for me as far as the vibe that I was getting around this inner conflict. Ace of Swords is a revelation. And some of you have heard me say, I see this card come up a lot when there's a clearing happening in the crown chakra. And here we have this sword going through this crown. So there's going to be epiphanies and revelations galore, Libra. I'm not a Libra. I'm a Libra rising. I have a Libra placement. And I can tell you that in connection to me being sick the last few days, I'm going through a massive clearing. And I had things come up. I had memories come up that I was just like, what? What? But I remember it clear as day. And so I'm not a Libra sun. I have a Libra placement. Maybe some of you are watching and you may be Libra placements. But I can tell you, I feel very strongly after seeing these cards that it's my Libra placement that made me experience what I've been experiencing the past couple of days coming into this new week. So just be gentle with yourself and be patient with yourself, because I feel here with this Ace of Swords, a lot is going to be revealed to you. Maybe you weren't ready to process it before, but you're ready to process it now, and that's why it's coming up. And the reason why it's coming up now is you're going to have to make some sink or swim decisions in your life over the next couple of weeks to the next maybe few months, where it's kind of like you're on a boat and it's like starting to sink and you're like, oh, we got to get rid of some weight here. We got to get rid of some weight here. We got to keep this boat afloat. And so you start looking around to like, what can we throw overboard? What isn't mandatory? What is absolutely positively like not a necessity right now? And so I hate to compare people to freight on a boat or luggage on a boat, but it's like it's not worth it for you to sacrifice yourself or to let the ship go down. And so spirit is showing to you, it's revealing to you, hey, it's okay. It's okay to leave this behind, because this is for some of you a snake in disguise. Maybe I shouldn't use that expression. I know there's a lot of animal lovers out here and they're like, hey, that's not fair to snakes. And I'm not trying to insult snakes. I'm just saying it as a figure of speech. I know snakes are a symbol of healing spiritually, so just for lack of a better term, that's what jumped out of my mouth. But here it's just kind of like epiphanies, revelations. Also, I feel like with the Ace of Swords, the positive aspect is you're going to be able to figure out how to make this transition, or like how to step away, or how to do this peacefully without there having to be some kind of a tower moment. The sword is also making me see, and I'm dating myself here. Some of you younger ones are like, what are you talking about? I've never heard about that. But the sword here is making me think of He-Man and She-Ra. And so I feel there's this sense of like taking your power back, right? Like by the power of Grayskull, like I feel like as you're disconnecting from this, you're tapping into higher self, you're tapping into God, you're tapping into universe, you're having a more direct spiritual connection. It's like this other stuff was static. This other stuff was uh, uh, just friction. And it's now that you're stepping away from it, you're having a clearer connection. And I feel like you're feeling stronger, more youthful, um, revitalized. I feel like over the next few uh, weeks and months, people might even be saying to you, Libra, like, what did you do? Did you have some work done? Are you using like a new skincare regimen? Did you change your diet? Like, what are you doing? I feel like people are gonna see that, like, you seem more youthful or you seem more refreshed. So I feel like even though it's a difficult revelation to experience, ultimately it's liberating, and it's strengthening you. The next card that's coming up here for you all is I can't make this up, is the Four of Swords. So it's what's coming up is gonna be some intense stuff. But the Four of Swords is telling us that your best way to deal with it is to just rest and to just process it. And so it's a time of resting, and being in prayer and meditation and focusing on your spiritual connection and allowing yourself to process the things that you've been through and allowing yourself to release the things that you've been through. I do feel, and this is interesting because this message came up in the card of the day. Uh, it may have been for August 31st. Um, I want to say August 31st. There was a message where some of you here may be uh, traveling or going away somewhere that is colder, or for some people, it could just be as the weather gets colder. Some of us are in a part of the world right now where the season is changing and it's getting colder, where we have cold winters. We don't have like, hot Christmases, or, you know, like this time of the year is cold. And so I feel some of you are going to be in colder climates, whether you're traveling to a colder climate or you're living in a place where the weather is turning and becoming colder. And I feel there's going to be a lot of hunkering down and like soul reflection, but also like epiphanies. So even though the Four of Swords is a card of rest, the energy in this card is making me think of the message that came up in that card of the day. So even though this is a time of rest and like hunkering down and processing what you've been through, I feel like you're creating either some kind of healing modality. Those of you who are healers, like through your own experiences and the way that you're processing and releasing, or you may be putting it into some form of art, like poetry, or like writing your life story, or like a screenplay, or putting it into paintings or music. Um, Maybe some of you are putting together a podcast or a vlog, but I feel like there's this sense of cold weather, staying indoors, releasing, processing, and like creating this stuff. Like there's something productive coming out of it. And that's not, I don't typically with the Four of Swords get a feeling of like producing something, but I feel like it's just kind of the after effect as you're processing and resting. So that being said, It might be like a project that you're doing a little bit at a time, right? And then you might be like, oh, I gotta go lay down again, or I gotta rest, or I can't think about this right now. You may be doing it in bits and pieces because of the Four of Swords. Uh, but definitely a time of processing and release. The next card coming up here is the Eight of Cups. And this is the search for things that are meaningful, for spiritual connection. Some of you may do well to connect with water, right? Even if you're in a colder climate, maybe if you could be in a warm place and make time for baths or incorporate baths. Some of you may have an opportunity to travel by water or to be near the water. I don't know if some of you are like going ice fishing or something. Sorry, I had to pause there for a moment. I had to adjust my voice here. So there could be an element of water because the water's kind of jumping out at me, but I just looking at it got a really, really beautiful message. The uh, the message that I'm getting, you know how we've heard about the expression baptism by fire, right? It's like kind of like you're going through these trials. You might even be going through a time of persecution in some kind of way. And like it's your baptism. It's your baptism, enduring these trials, these obstacles. But I feel here that there's like this baptism through grace, this baptism through like seeing uh light, love, Holy Spirit, Holy Ghost, whatever you want to call it, working through your life. And I feel there's a joy and a playfulness. And so I feel like it's less searching and more connecting. Like a feeling or a sense that everything has brought me here, everything has led me to this, and now I understand why. Now I understand why it had to happen this way. Now I understand um, why certain people came into my life and had to go, why I've met certain people. Uh, and I feel like you're feeling a sense of like you're being led, you're being guided. Like this is where you're meant to be. Like you're in the right place at the right time. And so there could be some movement, there could be some travel here for some of you, or doors opening up for change or movement or travel. But I feel a sense of like just a connectedness. Like you have faith, you have trust, you have faith in the process, you have faith in the way things are happening, in the timing in which they're happening. It's not surrender, like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna hope for the best and I'm just gonna trust. It's surrender, but it's like, but oh my gosh, I see it coming together. Oh my gosh, this is so much better than what I could have pictured or than what I could have imagined. Like, you're seeing it happen, you're seeing it come together. You might want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks, your moon sign and rising sign might resonate more than your sun sign. If you want to check out the love videos for September, those are linked in the description. There's also the playlist in the description that will take you to the weekly forecast, so you can find the other ones easily. If you want to schedule a private reading with me, there's a link in the description that will take you to my scheduling page, calendly.com/amethystangelite, and you can schedule a private reading with me there. Also, hopefully you guys can come back tomorrow and check out the card of the day. Every day I post a daily message on the channel. Some people like to start their day off with a message. If not, if that's not your cup of tea, no worries. I hope you'll come back and check out next week's forecast. And I thank you all for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I hope you all have a fabulous week ahead. Take care and be well, my darlings.